and whenever you want to start, Michelle.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend. Lovely to see all of you. Great to see you, Shaylin. Today we're in tune for a great presentation by Shaylin. But before that, I will pass it to our Executive Director, Matt Bogosian, for some updates. Matt, the floor is yours.
Great, Michelle from the Century Foundation, our longtime partner. Thank you for that introduction. And good morning, everyone. It's November 4th, AMCC's National 30-minute call every Monday, same time, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, 9:30 Mountain, and 8:30 Pacific. Election Day is tomorrow. Wow. Lots at stake, not only in our federal levels with the executive and legislative branches, but also state and local levels where so much policy has to be integrated and implemented. And so lots going on. Good news is we've had this 10 years helping each other nudge forward a national consensus on strengthening a manufacturing cornerstone of our economy in diverse regions. Pretty much strong bipartisan support for doing that. And we've seen that consensus build in federal law and agency programs and priorities, and in some state programs and priorities too. So that's an important start, building that consensus with many of you all, regional stakeholders, working to strengthen the ecosystem of support. So manufacturers and key industries can thrive in lifting people and communities. So a small part of that progress is this weekly call where we have roundtable discussions or we have presentations like we have today, Michelle was mentioning. Super excited about that. We also put out our weekly AMCC update newsletter. So if you don't get it and share it with your network and your networks and give us input on it. A lot of it, we get good information from you all about things that we, should go into the AMCC update that can add value to policymakers and regional leaders on best practices for strengthening the manufacturing ecosystem. So thank you for continuing. And if you haven't sent us, stuff before, please send it to us. David Van Sicklen is our operations director, and he does a great job in putting that together. We're a place where, folks can come together quickly and efficiently to touch base every week, to build relationships and share best practices, improve strategies, discuss actions we can take individually and collectively to advance the American project, which gets us to in-person events. And we do in-person events, like many of you know, co-created AMCC roadshow visits from time to time in regions so we can learn, engage, have a feedback loop, add the value we can to regional progress. And then we're also co-creating this Manufacturing Momentum Summit, which is a meetup on the national level that'll have a virtual component. So everyone here on this call and in your networks can participate. It's virtually on day one. It's December 12th. And David can drop the link to sign up on that. And you'll hear from national leaders on place-based initiatives and national policy making, and most importantly, hear from regional leaders who are working to weave the public, private, nonprofit interventions into meaningful activities and outcomes. So anyway, we'll have sessions there too with federal agencies that have a kind of important manufacturing related role in manufacturing. Very grateful to have it's going to be in DC at the NACO headquarters, National Association of Counties offices there. So this is, we're really grateful for those that can make it in person, and the whole effort just kind of underscores the demand and the need we have for an annual convening like this every year. We can't become, manufacturing can't become the cornerstone of the American project on its own, right? So we need to make it happen and using the best evidence to do that. So in-person matters, the weekly consistency matters. So that's some of our activities to add value here, which is a nice segue to other activities to getting there, which is relationship building. This is a part of our weekly call when we take a minute or two to invite you to come on the screen, introduce or reintroduce yourself, say what role you or your organization play in adding value to the manufacturing ecosystem. So let's take a minute there. If no one calls out, I'm going to call you out, So, oh, I should have said at the beginning, we have this innovation summit. SBA is honchoing this virtual summit November 14th and 15th. And I think Jennifer Shih is on. Do you want to say a few quick words, Jennifer, about that?
Sure. Thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate the call out. And hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Shih. I'm the Chief Scientist and Program Manager for the SBA's Investment and Innovation Ecosystem Development Division. And we are hosting our fourth Innovation Ecosystem Summit. It's virtual, it's free. Come join. We're excited to have David Sicklin, who will be on a panel speaking about metrics for storytelling. There are a number of other exciting panels, keynotes, and things like that. But this is specifically designed for those of you who are trying to support small businesses and entrepreneurs in the economy. So this is really targeted at all of you in the support side of things. And we really appreciate we really appreciate all of the work that you're doing to really create that full national network around manufacturing. I also want to just kind of along the theme of what Matt mentioned in terms of what this call is for and making connections. We will also have some speed networking offered on Thursday and Friday, where you're going to be randomly paired with other audience members. So anyway, we hope you will be able to join and look forward to seeing you there.
Great, Jennifer. Thanks so much. And so that link gets people into the invitation there that you dropped in the chat?
Yeah, that one, it gives a little bit more background and information. The link to directly register, I'll put into the chat as well. And then
Sweet.
we also do have a regular monthly call for entrepreneur support organizations and ecosystem builders in the US. And that will restart in January.
Awesome, Jennifer. Thanks so much. Anybody want to quickly introduce or reintroduce themselves? Just raise your hand and want to make sure we always have an opportunity to do that. I see lots of names. I've got BFFs for a long time. Carlene Herring, EDA out there in Idaho. Oh, Beatrice, you came online. All right, Beatrice up in Connecticut. How are you?
Hey, how are you? I was listening
Yeah,
from the car.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now I'm in my office. So, Beatriz Gutierrez, I am the president and CEO of CAMSTED, Connecticut's NIST MEP. In that role, we work with small and medium manufacturers trying to bring productivity, workforce, and technology into their facilities so they remain competitive. And we work very closely with our Office of the Chief Manufacturing Officer, which is unique to the United States, trying to align also with their strategy as part of a community. So thank you.
Thank you, Beatrice. I see Jack Katofsky from Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. Jack gave us a great tour recently. Jack, welcome. Why don't you say hello to folks? Yeah.
Thank you, Matt, David. Good to see you guys and invite me to this conversation. First time I'm joining. It was a pleasure having you at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. Currently sitting in my living room after coming back from a CHIPS Act meeting last week in DC. So I sit as our laboratory's representative to all things CHIPS Act and trying to engage that ecosystem. I also oversee a lot of our labs, micro and nanotechnologies and additive manufacturing, as well as biotechnology efforts, and have a mechanical engineering background myself. But Lawrence Livermore National Lab is eager to partner and assist the country's manufacturing initiatives and offers a lot of basic R&D as well as high TRL efforts in those domains. And so happy to act as a point of contact to help people navigate into our lab and also other people can serve that role. Matt, thank you for having this conversation.
Yeah, thanks for your partnership, Jack. Looking forward to next steps there. Okay, let's see one more. Jim Lochner, I see your hand up. Please introduce yourself. Yeah.
I think you're on mute, Jim.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Not used to talking to this group, but Jim Laukner with the Manufacturing Alliance of Chester and Delaware counties in southeastern Pennsylvania, but we do serve all of southeastern Pennsylvania. Quick question for the group, really energy related, because I'm seeing a repeating occurrence where our local utility cannot distribute. There's enough energy, but they cannot distribute the energy to certain sites, even in existing office and business parks. I'll put my email in the chat. If anybody else has seen that, would love to know about it. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for using the chat too. That's a good highlight of these calls. It's only 30 minutes and we try to start right on time and end right on time. And so we got to make the most of it. We have just a short period of time. So thank you for that. And today is a presentation day. So we're excited because that's another thing we do is, right, we building stories into narratives, informing strategies and actions and outcomes. And our friends and partners at New America are here, and Shaylin Jyotishi, a founder and managing director of New America's Future of Work and Innovation Economy Initiative. So psyched that Shaylin is on. We're honored to be a New America partner on their partner council for a program he's going to talk about. Shaylin's got an impressive background. You can check him out on LinkedIn and otherwise become a valued partner. Actually, he's going to be taking a laboring oar and part of our Manufacturing Momentum Summit. So that's going to be cool. So anyway, without further ado, Shaylin.
Thanks very much, Matt and David and Michelle. And thanks to all of you for tuning in. I have a bit of a slide deck to help with the presentation, and I'm going to get that live now. So if you give me just a moment, I will get that enabled here. All right. So do you all see that?
Looks good.
Perfect. Great. Well, thank you again, Matt, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Shaylin Jyotishi, as Matt mentioned, and I head up the Future of Work and Innovation Economy program at New America. And we wanted to join to share a little bit about what our program does and how we could be helpful to you all, maybe now, but maybe in the future, and in particular, highlight a exciting collaboration that we have embarked on with the National Science Foundation that is focused on capacity building of community and technical colleges in the Regional Innovation Engines program at NSF, a CHIPS Act investment to support tech-based economic development, including in manufacturing. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right in. So for those of you who may not know New America, we are a think and do tank, if you will, based in Washington, D.C. Our mission is to renew the American promise in an age of technological and social change. We do our work through policy analysis and engagement, as most think tanks do. But we were founded by journalists, and a lot of our work is actually in capacity building of journalism and of new age media. So we do quite a lot of storytelling and platform development work to elevate the visibility of communities and stories that might not have otherwise made the media circuit. We develop rules and products and tools, including resources for governors or local lawmakers, for practitioners, a number of toolkits, but also data visualization and technology assets as well. We have a number of technologists on staff here at New America who help with a lot of that. And of course, we support practice change in communities. An example of this I'll talk about with respect to our community college portfolio, but we have many examples of this, ranging from supporting ranked choice voting pilots in states to supporting the creation of public interest technology, educational offerings at universities, supporting the creation of youth apprenticeships through our Partnership for Advancing Youth Apprenticeships, and many different modalities. So think and do is New America's motto. I'm situated in the education and workshop at New America, so you can get a sense of our portfolio here, which spans ages with respect to the development journey, ages 0 through workforce. So we have a program focused on early and elementary education, a focus on K through 12 education, a focus on higher education, a focus on community colleges, workforce development, and labor policy more broadly. And you can see my program here, the Future of Work and Innovation Economy, is situated within our Center on Education and Labor, and we work interoperably with lots of these different issue areas as well. And specifically, the Future of Work and Innovation Economy program here at New America is really dedicated to supporting tech-based economic development and industrial policy implementation in a way that really maximizes its impact on working class families. That is our North Star. And we're especially focused on integrating science policy, labor policy, workforce policy, and industrial policy for that objective. We do our work primarily through practice change of education and workforce institutions to support economic development, which we'll talk a little bit about today by way of example. And we have 3 main mission pillars for FOE, as we call it, because we're in Washington and everything needs to be alphabet soup. We have a focus on higher education, economic development, and the innovation economy, with especially a community college focus, but not exclusively. In my past life, I headed up the economic development shop at the Association of Public and Land Grant Universities. So, we're focused on a variety of different aspects. We focus on labor and the innovation economy. Exciting to see somebody from AFL-CIO's Working for America Institute in the chat. And we focus, of course, on the connectivity between what happens in Washington and what happens with state level implementation coordination, whether it's around science policy, industrial policy, workforce policy, or more often the intersection of those buckets. And I mentioned that community colleges is really a key area for work with respect to, this community, the manufacturing ecosystem. So I just wanted to highlight a little bit about what this work looks like in a bit more detail. Our work in recent years has focused on getting non-degree credentials right. Of course, as we know, many non-degree credentials lead to unemployment, underemployment, or employment in jobs that don't sustain a livable wage. We work with colleges on quality development of these credentials. We focus on building better workforce community colleges, helping colleges enact institutional level changes that augment their maybe transfer-oriented mission with more of a college to job orientation, and have traded many notes with Michelle and team at Century and UMA and others on this issue set. We focus on designing high quality work-based learning at community colleges, internships, project-based capstones, all in between. We focus on adult learner re-enrollment strategies, particularly after the pandemic, seeing a significant decline in this population segment at community colleges, and thinking about strategic enrollment as a body of work for community colleges. Community colleges as apprenticeship intermediaries, of course, looking at how community colleges could help expand apprenticeship availability through this intermediary role, as well as the baccalaureate. 24 states, community colleges are permitted to offer community college bachelor's degrees, and we conduct research and analysis and support technical assistance to create high quality CCBs, if you will. And then we've launched most recently a student parent initiative, so supporting community colleges in providing necessary wraparound services and support structures to ensure that working parents are successful at work, navigating childcare availability, expansion efforts, and so forth. So that's a little bit of the bird's eye view. It's not an exhaustive list, but it'll give you a sense of where we're coming from with respect to this work with the National Science Foundation, and of course with our Partners Council members, including AMCC. Let's see here. So just a couple of examples of the colleges we work with. So pictured here is our community college workforce transformation cohort. So this is a group of 15 institutions that have partnered with us to enact institutional level changes that better position them to be workforce first or workforce oriented, whether that's modernizing data systems, improving finance strategies, or aligning workforce development more towards economic development objectives in the region. So just to give you a sense of our partners, of course, Lorraine and many other manufacturing superstars here. Here's another one. This one is from our student parent initiative. So this is another group of community colleges to improve childcare access for student parents and single mothers in particular as a focus area. So again, it gives you a sense of our networks. You know, we have many of these, and this is where the do part of the Think and Do Tank mission comes in. And so with respect to manufacturing ecosystems, of course, what I described in terms of our broader purview does very much apply to manufacturing partners, and especially in the context of partnerships. So to give you a sense of where we've been focusing here, and would love advice, insights, ideas from you all as we take on this work in more gusto. Would love to interact with this community more often to better align our research, storytelling, and policy agenda to the needs of communities. Manufacturing USA Institutes, of course, thinking about how community colleges could better partner and support the work of institutes is a key focus for us. We have worked with the NextFlex Institute, the Lyft Manufacturing Institute. I was a colleague of the late Emily DeRocco at Lyft, and this is a key area of focus for us and an interest area. Of course, the MEP network, thinking about best-in-class models of community college MEP partnerships, as well as when things go wrong. Sometimes it's more interesting to look at those pinch points than it is the best practices so that we can solve for them. Labor union partnerships, of course, again, a nod to the AFL-CIO colleague. Exciting that AFL-CIO has itself released a brief calling for more community college labor union partnerships, and we think about that from the community college end. Workforce boards, of course, some WIBs, great relationships, others not so much. Thinking about how we can bring these communities more closer in alignment, particularly in the era of industrial policy. State regional sector strategy, emerging technology workforce development is a key area of work for us. We do a lot of research on community colleges and AI education, quantum education, advanced manufacturing, biomanufacturing, biotech, etc. Regional innovation ecosystems, how community colleges are or are not partnering in place-based innovation ecosystem investments such as NSF engines and EDA tech hubs or microelectronic commons, you name it. And of course, responding to broader industrial policy is also in scope here. I'm moving a little bit fast just to be mindful of time. So if these slides will be made available, and again, happy to talk through. I'll skip this slide, but this is just to say that you know, this just sort of illustrates the different issue sets we've been on around the intersection of the areas on the last slide. This QR code will link you to my Linktree in case you'd like to connect. And I just gave a presentation at the Association of Community College Trustees meetings where you can find these headlines and articles included in a Google Doc. But let's talk about this NSF project, because this might be an exciting area of opportunity for collaboration with this group. So as I mentioned, we've been working with the NSF since CHIPS was passed around skilled technical workforce and innovation ecosystems, and specifically the community college role. And this is the NSF director, Sathrutman Panchanathan, pictured. speaking at New America, really digging deep into the role of the labor, education, and workforce implications of NSF engines. And that conversation then led to a formal partnership. So last month, we launched with the National Science Foundation a strategic initiative to build the capacity of community and technical colleges in regional innovation ecosystems. And I will put the link to that release in the chat so you can see it in more detail. But over the next 3 years, we will be supporting all of the community and technical college partners in the NSF Regional Innovation Engines program, the 10 NSF investments all across the country, focused on growing the innovation economy around emerging technology areas enshrined in the CHIPS Act. So I wanted to give a little bit of an overview of the project. We call it the Accelerator for Community Colleges in the Innovation Economy. Again, it's a no-cost technical assistance program and a community of practice that's really focused on this institutional building piece, making community colleges as institutions better positioned to support innovation ecosystems. So it's not about creating programs necessarily, or thinking about faculty development in those individual buckets, but if I'm a president or board, what can I do to position my college for success for the next 3 years, but then thereafter, because NSF Engines is a 10-year undertaking. So specifically, we will provide colleges, presidents, and staff with, peer learning, best practices. We do have funding available to support the colleges and NSF Engines, as well as this policy and storytelling component. And again, the goal is really to support the community colleges in unleashing their full impact in NSF Engines, and by extension, supporting the renewal of the middle class, expanding pathways into the jobs being catalyzed by these investments. Apologies, my slide is cut off here. That last word is just emerging technology sectors. So we're really excited to take this work on, and we hope that we might be able to learn a lot from this work that we can then share in venues like the AMCC that could impact even folks not involved with an NSF engine. And that's really where we're excited to do some work as well. This is just a map of the NSF engine so you can visualize these communities. The big dots are the dots of focus for us. The little dots are developmental awards, not the formal 10 Type 2 NSF engines, but just to give you a sense, maybe they're in your communities. And as Matt mentioned, we do have partners that we're working with. We have not publicly announced this, but we love AMCC so much that we wanted to give a sneak peek. So we're really excited to be working with a large array of membership associations that are really convening constituencies in innovation ecosystems who also care about community colleges and the innovation economy. They include the organizations you see on screen. As you can see, it's a cross-section of folks who convene community colleges, folks who convene universities, folks who convene business, folks who convene ecosystem builders, a really broad array. Formal announcement with full list of partner council members will come later this month, but I just wanted to give a sense of the ecosystem component of this project. It's focus on the community colleges, focus on NSF engines, but we're hoping the ramifications will be much broader than just that. And the last slide, and probably the most critical, is we would love to hear from you. This project is one of a couple of undertakings from the Future of Work and Innovation Economy program. I put a couple of questions over here on the slide, but these are the questions that we would love to have this community help us ideate around as we head into 2025 and shape the direction of our future of work in this area of community colleges and ecosystems, and especially in manufacturing ecosystems. So thinking about org-to-org challenges like the ones we discussed on the slide prior, federal policy hiccups, federal policy problems, state or local policy challenges, state or local policy hiccups. Some states fund non-credit, some don't. Some do CCBs, some don't. And then any other ideas that you all have that really warrant more attention around community colleges and the innovation economy and manufacturing ecosystems, we'd be grateful for your advice and insights. This QR code brings you to my Linktree. It just has all my contact information in one place. You can also email me at the email I'll put in the chat. And at this point, would love to give the floor back to you all. And thanks again for having me.
Well, thank you, Shaylin. It's great to have your partnership. Very impressive work, and excited to add value to it where we can. And we keep this right at a half hour. And thanks for sharing your contact info. And everyone vote and encourage others to vote. And we'll be back next week. When's our next meeting is when?
Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. We aren't going to be having a Monday call next Monday for the observance of Veterans Day. And then we'll be back on, what is that? The 18th, November 18th. So we'll see you all then.
Great. Michelle, why don't you close it out? Thank you.
Yep, great to see everyone. We'll see you November 18th, and happy voting if you haven't already. Thank you so much.
Bye, all.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.